Good afternoon, class, and welcome to our presentation on how to effectively use personality tests for selection. Today you'll be hearing from myself, Costa, Andrew, Harris, Joe, Larnell, and Mo. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
So why exactly do we use personality tests? Personality tests help define the distinct combination of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that ultimately shape the applicant's response to their environment. Some characteristics that appear in testing results are key indicators of the appropriate placement for individuals, ultimately identifying who works best in certain positions. When coupled with a good interview, personality tests can help you gain a better insight on the applicant. When you find the appropriate applicants, the personality variables discovered are useful in predicting their potential job performance. Personality tests help recruiters better understand how to keep employees engaged and motivated in the workplace, ultimately lowering a firm's turnover rate. Last but not least, it enables recruiters to be able to see if said applicant is a good overall fit to the firm.
As hiring managers, we can use various tests for selection. The first step we recommend in selecting an employee is to identify the big five personality factors. Out of the thousand of personality traits, recent information has shown that these dimensions hold value in the workplace and for selection. Extroversion, emotional stability, agreeableness, openness to experience, and conscientiousness are personality factors that a candidate may possess to aid their success or potential as an employee. For example, jobs such as car salesmen, customer service associates, or receptionists who deal with people and are more sociable on a daily basis may find greater success if they're more extroverted. On the opposite end, there are jobs that require a great deal of poise, creativity, and conceptualizing, such as an architect or a designer. With this being said, some traits are predictive of most jobs, such as conscientiousness, and some traits are correlated to specific types of jobs. The test we will recommend to effectively select employees will identify both of those scenarios.
Our second test we recommend to assist in selection is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator Test. This test is comprised of 93 questions and identifies whether an employee's personality leans towards one of two tendency groups. The MBTI may not be as useful in hiring for a position-specific job, but rather to determine how an individual will be compatible working with other employees and if they will be a good cultural fit for the company as a whole. This is also not a comparative test, as there is no better score than another. It is simply to understand how a candidate performs to work and can assist motivation, leading to be a more functional work environment. The benefits of this test are evident, as 89 of the 100 of the Fortune 100 companies use MBTI before hiring new employees. To expand on the MBTI, it compares extroversion and introversion, sense and intuitiveness, thinking and feeling, and judging and perceiving. So after taking the test, a candidate or employee score may read that they are an ENTJ personality type. This can allow you to understand they enjoy working in teams in a fast-paced environment, are optimistic, and seek creative solutions, weighs pros and cons often, and likes sticking to plans and following most rules. Ideally, you want a mix of various personality types work, so employees can keep each other grounded and they can all bring their perception of thinking to the table as food for thought. This is more prominent for workplace culture than for selection, but nonetheless beneficial.
The next personality test selection method that we will go over is known as the Caliper Profile Test. This test is also designed for assisting in the hiring selection process of recruitment for organizational staffing. In contrast to the previously talked about Myers-Briggs test, Caliper can be used to measure how an individual's personality traits correlate directly to projected job performance. The Caliper test is also a scientific pre-employment assessment used to predict the performance of a potential employee upon successful hiring out of the application process. The test is presented in a series of statements in which the participant decides how the statements best or least align with their point of view based on the question stems being posed to the participant. It also features a format comprised of true-false questions and multiple choice questions, which are posed to the application's candidate, or participant in this case, which typically are to be answered on a degree of agreement scale, for which the participant chooses their response from a wide range of answers, starting from strongly disagree to strongly agree on that spectrum. The one key difference to note, however, between this test in comparison to the other tests that we have either already talked about or plan to talk about later is that the caliper test tests both the negative and positive qualities of the candidate in an effort to probe to see if the participant or candidate's personality traits are ideal for the organizational role that is being offered as a potential fit down the road if they are successfully hired out of the application process. For more information on the caliper test, we would like to direct your attention to a brief video about 2 minutes in length. It is on the bottom right-hand corner of our slide, and we aim to use this as a multimedia aid to further explain what the caliper profile test is and how exactly it can be effectively implemented into the organizational staffing and hiring process for a company. Please take some time to look over that video. Thank you.
Recruiting and developing the best people remains a challenge for businesses big and small. The Caliper Profile is a personality assessment that has been helping companies identify the strengths and weaknesses of employees and candidates for over 50 years. Where the Caliper Profile differs from most personality assessments on the market is its depth and accuracy. It measures 22 personality traits and an abstract reasoning component to give us a far clearer picture of a person's strengths and weaknesses for a role. What this award-winning online platform allows a user to do is log in and build their own custom personality assessments by picking from our menu of 30 different job families, 49 competency areas, and 245 different behaviours. Once the Caliper Profile questionnaire has been completed, we're able to compare individuals against the exact requirements of the job we're trying to fill right now, any jobs we're trying to fill in the future, and if we're looking at training people, we can look at their strengths and weaknesses against our particular training requirements. One of the most powerful features of the platform is the comparison function. To be able to compare two candidates side by side to understand the strengths and weaknesses of each individual person, or look at a manager versus a candidate to make sure that they're going to fit together, is extremely vital information in making a good recruitment or development decision. The Caliper Profile has allowed some clients to increase their ability to hire top performers by up to 80% and reduce staff turnover to as little as 3%. Click on the link below to start your free trial of this award-winning platform and start making better talent management decisions today.
Our next suggestion for employee selection is to offer the Hogan Personality Inventory Test. This test has been widely used to identify how an individual's temperament matches the demands of a given role in the workplace. The HPI test is based on the 5-factor model, which we talked about the start, along with the 7 primary skills and 6 occupational skills, including service orientation, stress tolerance, reliability, clerical potential, sales potential, and managerial potential as well. These criteria make it one of the most effective tests for identifying how a candidate may likely act in a specific situation. This test consists of 206 true or false questions that must be answered within 15 to 20 minutes, making it one of the most effective personality tests out there. It not only identifies their traits, but ranks candidates in what job areas they have the most potential for success.
Lastly, we recommend the DISC Behavior Inventory Test. Similarly to the Myers-Briggs test, the DISC Behavior Test measures candidates based on their personality traits. Although it is more user-friendly, being only 12 to 30 questions long, the DISC test provides a candidate with adjectives or phrases which they will select that will apply to them the most or the least. Based on your results as a candidate, your professional behavior will be determined. Whether you are dominant, influential, steady, or compliant, it will all be identified. As shown in the diagram, there are 4 main competencies. Action-driven people who learn by experience and making mistakes. Stability-driven people who learn with structure and take their time through the process. Then, people who enjoy taking on challenges independently. And then those who enjoy collaborating with others. Again, this test is associated more closely with getting the most out of your employees and creating motivation through connecting individuals who think differently. You cannot compare scores between candidates in this test, so it is more temperamental than pre-employment. However, if you're looking for an individual who behaves a certain way and possesses qualities that are missing from your workplace, this test is beneficial.
All in all, behavior compatibility and personality traits are not only important for selection and identifying a potential hire, but also work as a mean for motivation and creating a better work environment through hiring the correct people internally. The better you know a person and how they operate, the easier it is to engage with them. So it is important to hire someone who is not only suitable for the job with physical tools, but will complement others in the workplace as well. To conclude, personality tests will never be the be-all, end-all of job interviews, but it definitely helps aid the selection process. The floor is now open for any questions or concerns, and I just want to thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day.